40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they're the talk of the town. Podcast tales of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories. From touchdowns to heartbreakers, we discuss it all. Texas Longhorns glory. Here we gather around each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Harry, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams you like. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
And I just did that entire thing on mute. That's what's up. It is me, your boy Harish, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast, special Saturday edition.
Yes, sir.
Pregame, Texas Vanderbilt kicks off in about 1 hour and 5 minutes. So we'll get you here through the next 45 minutes or so. Of course, my name's Harish. My guy, Tim Wayne. Tim Wayne, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. What's going down?
Oh, man, not too much. We got you guys here on YouTube, here on the Twitters, and then here on TikTok. Let me know if you guys can hear Tim. If I need to turn him up, I can. He's coming through my computer because he's also live on YouTube. But while you guys are here, smash the screen. Go to the YouTube channel, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. Like, subscribe, comment in the comments. Anywhere, we've got all the comments going on here. Texas, Vanderbilt, we're all focused on Texas and Vanderbilt. The Texas Longhorns come home for the first time in 47 days. On the opposite side of that, Tim, Vanderbilt has not had a road game for the first time in 32 days.
Right.
So I just saw a video of Arch Manning warming up. Yesterday it was said that Arch Manning is a game time decision. So I'm guessing warm-ups. There's not a lot of sun outside. I'm looking right outside my door. I'm not that far from the stadium. You're not that far from the stadium.
Right.
All right. It looks like Arch has gone through the protocol pretty well this week. What are you expecting as far as his ability to play today? Game time decision. Is this still more gamesmanship for Sark? Or are you confident that Arch is going to play in this game?
So it's been reported, I'm seeing this morning, that Arch will play. I saw a few videos on Twitter from a few Longhorn insiders. Now, I trust in Anwar, Corey Mose. Those are trusted sources to me. They haven't reported anything that I've seen yet. So I'm going to say that it is still a game time decision. However, we do need to really take concussions very seriously because once you get a concussion, there is a very, very high chance that you could sustain another concussion, especially playing the game of football. So, I don't necessarily know if this is Arch's first concussion. I would say this is his first concussion at the University of Texas. So those need to be evaluated very, very closely. And I'm pretty sure if the doctors didn't think that he was good, they wouldn't put him out there. Now, personally, in my opinion, I would keep him on a short leash, meaning if he takes any major hits, we're immediately evaluating him on the sideline, especially if it's a 3-and-out type situation. He needs to be evaluated by doctors immediately. We don't want this to become a health thing where he is, in case, again, sustaining multiple concussions throughout his football career, especially in his early football career. So I do expect him to play. Do I want him to play? No, I don't want him to play. After watching, I rewatched the game today. That concussion was a lot more scarier than I thought. At first, I thought it was his back. He did indeed hit the front and the back of his head. Now, again,
right, coming down, right?
Yeah. Again, I understand it's been a week.
Yep.
but that's still very scary. Most of the time it's a situation you might hit the back of your head, you might hit the front of your head. That to me it was very, very telling. Again, we don't. I'm no doctor.
Yeah.
I just know what I see, and that looks scary. And I do believe Texas is talented enough on defense to put to slow this thing down that Vanderbilt has. So if he does play, I would hope that he's on a very short lease, especially if he takes hits. The guy has got to slide. He's got to slide.
Well, the funny thing is, and he did try to slide, right? And actually, like most of the time, Arch is okay about sliding. And on that play, he dove instead of
He
slid.
dove instead of
Yeah, right. Now there's a chance, maybe, right? Well, actually, it probably does because you're not going. But the thing about the defender that comes in, I actually don't think the hit was going to be as significant as it was until he got hit in the back.
Yeah,
And
when he
that
got hit in
pushed
the back, that was scary.
him
Yeah,
forward,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
So that pushes his momentum forward. And as you guys are here on TikTok, smash the screen, like the live. We'd really appreciate it. YouTube, like the video, subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Comment down in the comments below. We want to hear what you guys think. Arch Manning, a game time decision. Yeah, I mean, I think as we look back at that game and that moment specifically, I do think the hit in the back carries his momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what causes it. I think the thing here today that I do want to call out, Arch Manning was not on the injury report last night.
No, he was not.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah.
As far as him playing.
Right.
As a matter of fact, there was only one player on the injury report, period. And that was Michael Taft, who was downgraded to doubtful.
Right.
Which I don't know if I'm like upset about that, right? And what that means to me is Cole Hudson should be back today, which is really important. If you guys don't understand the value of Cole Hudson's the center, right? You can now move Connor Robinson to left guard, which you don't have to worry about the Nick Brooks thing anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Which Nick Brooks got some valuable playing time.
Oh yeah.
Your right guard position, you can move. DJ Campbell should be back today. This is the offensive line that did really well against Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me a lot of things to be positive about. Tim, I want to call out something, and I know I don't really want to touch too much on the Mississippi State game, but this offense was putrid for three and a half quarters.
Yeah.
Once again, it was putrid. But the really positive thing is that fourth quarter in overtime, Arch Manning goes like 13 for 17, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. This offense, for the first time all season, clicked. Like this, the offense we saw in the fourth quarter was the offense we expected to see all season. Mm-hmm. And that is what gave us the confidence that this team would be able to go in and potentially compete for a national title this year. How does Texas build on that fourth quarter today? Because that offense isn't a run-first offense. That was an air raid offense. 5 wide, lots of 5 wide that Sark goes into. And guess what? That's where Arch is the most comfortable. 5 wide, spreading it out, moving the pocket himself, right? So what do you hope to see from Texas today? And how do you still incorporate the running game? Because that is Sark's identity.
What I'm expecting to see, because of Arch's injury, I'm expecting to see a lot more things get out quick. We're going to see a lot more screens today, especially with the line being healthy. We're going to see a lot more screens today. Expect to see some tight end screens going. Listen, I think that Texas has an opportunity to pounce on here. And the only way that Texas has this opportunity is to really stay consistent and keep things very, very short. When I mean short, I mean third and shorts.
Yep.
Making sure that you stay on your side of the field, making sure that you do get to your side of the field so that you can pin this Vanderbilt offense back. Now, Vanderbilt can run the ball. They have run the ball decently. They're not super great in running the ball. However, they have had some opportunities, as you've seen throughout they're the last 3 weeks, they've been able to pop one of these big runs off. The
Yeah.
great thing about the Texas is that from a defensive standpoint, uh, they've been playing really, really good. That defensive line has really, really stepped up. Uh,
Yeah.
as far as Ethan Burke and Anthony Hill Jr. and Collins, from an offensive perspective, what I would like to see is I would like to see you, if you can't, well, you need to try to big boy these defensive linemen for Vanderbilt. You really do. You need to get these guys out here. You need to get them, like I said, short things. I don't expect things to be put in play. I don't expect to see elongated plays.
Right.
That gives you an opportunity for you to get your quarterback killed and potentially knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see a fast pace. What I would like to see, Harish, and you tell me how you feel about this. I would like to see more of a no huddle. I think Texas has been phenomenal when they run no huddle.
Yeah.
They did it a little bit against Oklahoma,
Yep.
especially in that 2 minute drive. They did it a little bit last week, especially when they were, marching down the field that last drive that they had. They looked fantastic. That looked great. I would like to see this implemented more throughout the actual game itself. I think
Yeah. I think
minutes
they'd be.
run
I
that
think,
2 minute offense, running that fast paced offense, getting people on the line could really help you out and wear down that defense.
yeah, I think that'd be really interesting. I think one of the things that you have to do if you are going to run a true play action offense is you're going to have to be able to run the ball a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And Texas is not, minus the Oklahoma game. Texas has not really run the ball very well this season, right?
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
last week, if you look at the stats, let's see, Texas ran the ball for a total 32 times for 72 yards, right?
That's
Trey
decent.
Wisner,
Great.
that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
That's Trey Wisner 12 times for 41 yards. CJ Baxter 9 for 27. Arch, of course, 10 for 6. Now, Arch's 10 for 6 is kind of misleading because that also includes sack yardage.
Yep.
And Arch Manning was sacked 4 times last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And that's the stuff that Arch needs to avoid, right? He cannot afford to be sacked a lot of times. I still see Arch taking a lot of unnecessary sacks.
Mhm.
Now he's not he's not walking into sacks like Quinn did last year, right? Well, he does sometimes, but Arch took 5 sacks last week,
Yeah.
right? That can't happen. And some of those sacks that he took wasn't because and Delta Co says hopefully this game isn't like the last 2 weeks. Delta, man, we can only hope.
Yeah.
And I have a reason why I don't think it will be, and just hold on with me there. We'll get there here in a second. But Arch cannot take these sacks where he just doesn't go anywhere with the football.
Mhm.
This team in play action will not work. I think the running game will get better this week because of Connor Robinson or Cole Hudson being back.
Mhm.
Your center being back, and everybody, we both know this. There's 2 really, really important things when it comes to the offensive line: continuity
Yep.
and guys playing in their natural positions.
Yeah.
I've seen it at every level. I'm not like a big X's and O football guy, but I can see when guys are uncomfortable in positions that they're not used to playing in.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
saying that they can't do it for a couple plays, but when you've played right guard, left guard for 8 games, and all of a sudden for 1 game or 2 games you got to go play center, it's a completely different, it's a completely different mind shift change, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now you're going from having to say, all right, I got to pull to the left, hit the linebacker, hit the second level, maybe chip the defensive tackle or whatever you got to do. Now you have to do all of that. Plus,
You have to
gotta snap the-
communicate. You have to call when you go from left guard or right guard to center. Now your responsibility is uh looking at what the defensive line is doing, checking to see what the linebackers are doing,
Yep.
Communicating with the quarterback, who's hot, who's not, slide protections, things like that. So It is a big difference, and it is very, very, very different. I have never played the center position, but I do respect the dudes that do because they do have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
Again, slide protections, communicating with your tight end. I mean, not with your tight ends, communicating with your quarterback, making sure your quarterback gets the ball right. That's really important. So, kudos to the offensive lineman. Again, it is not a glorified position, but it is definitely a necessary position.
yeah. And shout out to the follow on TikTok. We really appreciate it. Again, tap the screen if you like the show. Smash the screen. Let us know. Comment in the comment section on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. Subscribe to the show there. And of course, follow us here on TikTok. We appreciate it. Also, yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's going to help this offensive line a lot. And this is the same offensive line we'll see that we saw in the Oklahoma game. So left tackle will be Gooseby, left guard will be Connor Robertson, center Cole Hudson, right guard will be DJ Campbell, right tackle will be Brandon Baker.
How good has Gooseby been?
Listen,
To step up and to fill in a big hole.
yeah.
Gooseby has been. We don't give him as much credit as he needs.
Yep.
He deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, and he's been banged up a couple times too, right? Like
He's been banged up. He's been on other parts of the line, at times, but he has been really, really good.
Yeah.
When you have a generational talent like Banks that we were blessed to have for 3 years, and for Gooseby to step in, I think he's been really, really good. I would say he's been one of the bright spots on that offensive line. I look forward to seeing him, continue to mature and become dominant. He is, I think, if he decides to, that he wants to stay, regarding NIL,
Yeah.
things like that. If he decides that he wants to stay, I think he will be the true anchor going forward. I think he's the anchor right now, if you ask me. Um, he has been really, really good compared to what we've had in the past. I think he's been very good.
Yeah, I think he's like, as far as like projects go, he's probably Kyle Flood's best project, right?
Yep.
Comes in as a 3-star recruit. We met Trevor Gooseby, I think last
Summer, yep.
last summer, right?
Yeah.
At an event, and really good kid, hard worker, very respectful.
Yeah.
Look, I think Goosby's like, I don't know if Gooseby stays this year or not.
You don't think so?
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to depend on how he grades out. My guess is he wants to be a first-round offensive lineman,
right?
And if he wants to do that, I think he can come back and put one really, really good year on tape with all of with everything that he's learned over the last 3 years, right?
Right.
And again, we equate success to experience.
Right.
We've said this about Arch. We said this about, and the same thing's going to apply to Gooseby. It might apply to a lot of these guys. Listen, I think there's a good, thinking back on it, right? There's a very good chance. I don't want to say very good. There's a good chance a lot of these guys could come back, right? You think about a Trey Weiser. Trey's probably gone, right? CJ Baxter.
Yeah, I think Trey's gone. I think Trey has gotten himself into a really good spot.
Yeah,
he can do, given the right circumstances, as far as not sitting in the shotgun and running, giving the same spot or the same look. He can really be a true weapon. I think he's gotten himself in a I'm no draft predictor, but I definitely think he's like a late second round, early third round draft.
I was thinking he's like third or fourth round guy.
I think there are quite a few running backs that are out there, but I think as far as all around, I think Trey is kind of solidified.
My problem with Trey is he dances too much.
Yeah, he does dance. He
right?
dances a lot.
He's a dancer,
Yeah,
and the holes are there, right? I think that more often than not, Sean Dog is Arch playing today. We talked about that earlier. He's a game time decision, but I think this is gamesmanship. My opinion is I think he's playing,
I think so too.
and
I think
how
so.
they utilize him is going to be very very interesting. Sean Dog,
Yeah,
but I think he's gonna play. I almost venture to believe I wouldn't be surprised if in certain situations Sark uses Caldwell as well.
I was going to ask you, what do you want to see from Arch, and what do you want to see from Sark with
Yeah,
the utilization of Arch?
I would actually use and I think because he's been good in those scenarios and key scenarios where you need something to happen,
Hmm.
third downs, third and longs, like especially scenarios where you expect the heat to come, right? I'd
Right,
use Caldwell
right,
because Caldwell has shown that he's good in those situations. Obviously, the touchdown in overtime, the third down, the play that he comes in for Arch for on in the Florida game, like we've seen it a couple times, right?
right.
And I think you're still early enough to where you don't know what's going to happen. And Sean Dog says Arch should transfer to a better team. I mean, Arch is growing as a quarterback. I don't know what if you look at this team this year, right? This is a very young team. This team,
Yes,
all
it
this
is. Yeah,
experience,
it's
especially this offense, all this experience this offense is getting is going to make them that much better next year. And
yeah,
and and and, and Arch is a Longhorn through and through. This guy bleeds
yeah,
orange,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Yeah,
He was
I
speaking
don't
out of
see
the
him
tent.
transferring or anything like that.
There's literally a 0% chance he
Yeah,
transfers.
I don't see that happening.
But anyway, I think that's how they use Arch today. I think back to Trey Weisner, he dances a lot, which is what I was saying earlier.
When he
Um,
hits the hole, dude, though, he
he
looks.
looks good when he hits the
Oh
hole,
my
but the thing
god.
is he
Oh,
doesn't do it often enough, and I don't know if that is confidence. I don't know. And as you guys are jumping in here, chatting in the chat here on TikTok, smash the screen, like the
well,
show.
I mean, if you look at it between last year and this year, last year's offensive line was fantastic.
Well, yeah, you had four NFL
Outside
guys on the offense.
outside of the Georgia game,
Yeah,
the two Georgia games, really, the two Georgia games and the Ohio State game,
yeah,
3 games out of 14, 15, 16.
yeah,
Uh, that's a really, really good, solid offensive line. And again, like you stated, you just mentioned it. This team is young now. The most experience is on the offensive line, but they have not been able to really
Joe.
exactly because of injuries. Because you have your center that goes down, and you can't you know now you have to slide someone over, come in, kind of be a makeshift running back. And let's not take this. I'm not. I've been critical of it, but we do have to take this into perspective. It's been 42 days since Texas has played at home.
Yeah, I think
Four-
this team's gonna be fired up to play at home today. Uh,
42 days. There's not been a home game in the state, in the city, in 42 days, not including the Red River. Red River is a neutral site. Is it in the state of Texas? Yes, but it is considered a neutral site. It takes 2 to 3 hours for Texas to get from here to Red River. So um, I do look at that as a advantage for Texas today. Hopefully that crowd is, although probably exhausted with all the things that have happened here within the last couple of months or within the last 4 weeks, with all of the events and festivities that have gone on. I really hope that they show up today and they put something together to say, hey, like we need to we need to do this. We need to show up for the team, because again, if they're able to again survive and win the game,
yeah,
that is a big implication. Vanderbilt is ranked number 9. Like if you beat You beat a number 6 Oklahoma team, even though they're kind of falling and flailing apart here. But you also beat a number 9 SEC Vanderbilt team that has a one loss to a very good Alabama team right now.
Yeah,
That looks good. You know,
it
uh,
does. I
Georgia Georgia has not been playing super great. They've been kind of skating by like Texas, but they are not getting as much coverage because of Arch Manning, the brand,
Yeah.
and so forth. So, if Texas can skate by and get by, of course, we want them to win comfortably, but we also know what's going on. The offense have not looked great. But there's a lot of game implications today. There's at least 5 games that could course correct themselves as far as the playoffs concerned.
Potentially, yeah. I
Yeah,
think for Texas though, it's about if you don't win today. And Sark said this earlier, and I thought it was a great message to the team on his Thursday press conference. He said, "Hey, look, I told the team this is the game that matters, right? If you don't win today, it gets really, really difficult, right?
yeah,
But if you do win today, everything is in front of you. Texas, look, is a very difficult 4 game stretch. But if you come into the end of November and you beat 3 top 10 teams, you're in the playoff.
right.
You're in the playoff. There's zero doubt you're in the playoff, right? Um, and Texas is everything is ahead of them. Now, do they get to the SEC title game? You could put yourself in a position if you went out to be in the SEC title game, right?
Yeah,
You can put yourself in a position to be in the SEC title game. You can put yourself in a position to get there for sure. But you've got to take care of business, and it's week to week. And Tim, take over real quick. I will be right back.
yeah. So, what Harish is to kind of piggyback off of what Harish has said, we've had a situation here over the last 3-4 weeks here throughout October. We had Red River. We had the debacle in Florida prior to the Red River. We had the bye week, and then we had 2 very difficult games. One in Kentucky, one in Mississippi State. So getting through Red River has been a thing. Now we're in November. This is the last stretch, right? We've got this last month to really take care of some business. Again, taking care of Vandy, taking care of Georgia, and taking care of Arkansas and A&M could really put us in a really, really good spot. Personally, what I would like is, again, kind of to piggyback off what Harish mentioned about Sark, is like you've got to take care of it as a week to week basis. Your season is pretty much on the line going forward from here on out. You lose out, it's really, really hard. I don't see a way that Texas makes it into a playoff with 3 losses. Even
I
as
mean, it's
is
possible,
it possible?
right?
It's if I will say this, if Texas were to make it into the playoff as a 3 loss team, there's going to be a lot of backlash on this playoff committee.
Sure.
There's going to be a bunch. There has to be a crazy shakeup in
Yeah.
order for that to happen. And I
Here's the
don't
thing.
see it right now.
Here's the thing, Tim. I like about that, right? Let's just say Texas loses 3 games, right? But let's just say the 2 games they win is number 3 Georgia and number 2 A&M.
Mhm.
Your one of your 3 losses, and then your losses to number 9 Vanderbilt team, who's also in the playoff, right? Your losses are to number 1, number 9, and the Florida game is the one that sticks out, right? That's
Yeah.
like a sore thumb. But you lose to 2 top 10 teams by a total of let's just say it's under 10 points, right?
Mhm.
Because you lose to Ohio State by 7. Let's just say you lose today by 3.
Right.
But you beat A&M and you beat Georgia, right?
Whew. That's tough, man.
That's it. That's an excellent resume. That's
It's
a
a,
better
it's a,
resume than Notre Dame, which I know some people that it's a better resume than any Big Ten team.
Now that is true. That is
There's
true.
not a Big Ten team that has a better resume except for maybe Indiana, and Indiana's going to be a top 2 team anyway, right?
Yeah.
They should win out,
Yeah. They don't play anybody.
right?
The Big
They
Ten,
played, but they
the,
beat the tough opponents they played.
the Big Ten is a joke. I'm
It's,
sorry.
it's a
The
down
Big
year.
Ten this year, it is an absolute joke. The way that these teams have been set up to play, these games and to not really have anything at the end of the year. It kind of reminds me of what Nick Saban in Alabama used to do, where they would have, they would have their LSU's, they'd have their Auburns, they'd have their Missouris. I mean, even then, I would say Missouri really wasn't a factor as when they introduced themselves to the SEC or came to the SEC. They're a formidable opponent now, but back then they weren't.
Yeah.
These SEC games are tough. Like,
Yeah, you're really
like
tough.
you listen. You still have Georgia versus Florida. We don't know what Georgia looks like right now. Georgia does not look like a world beater. And guess what? Florida, they don't got nothing to play for. They don't have anything. What they are fighting for is an opportunity to get a decent bowl game, right? I wouldn't even say decent. We're talking about the Texas Bowl. We're talking about the Holiday Cheese
Something.
Bowl.
Yeah.
A lot of these players, and what I'm pretty sure that their coaches are probably getting across to them is like, listen, whether you want to stay here or not, if you don't do anything or put it on tape, you're not going to get an opportunity
Right.
to play. So you still need to play. You
Yeah.
still need to perform. I think about DJ Lagway. I don't think Lagway is going to be there next year unless he has an opportunity to help with the pulling of a coach. I don't know, but you have you all you got to do is take care of what's in front of you right here and there.
Yeah.
We talked about it at nauseum from an SEC standpoint. I think I think the reason why we talk so ill about the Big Ten is because they truly don't have anything,
Yep.
at the end of the tunnel there. Ohio State has Michigan. They play a three.
Oh, I don't know what happened to Tim, but I think Tim might have accidentally exited out. Yeah, they play a three loss Michigan team. Yeah, I think you hit the
Sorry
X
about that.
button.
Uh, Accidentally hit the X on the browser there. But anyway, we got to a situation to where the Ohio State plays Penn State. I don't think that game's going to be even close. They don't have their
Yeah.
quarterback. A lot of things are up in the air. I'm pretty sure that team has nailed it in. So will it be cool to watch the introduction of the teams? Yeah. Outside of that, that's a wash. So the
Yeah.
only thing that Ohio State has to look forward to is Michigan, and Michigan, we don't know what they're going to turn into. They will turn into world beaters because they hate Ohio State that much.
Yep.
So that's one thing. But other than that, Penn State really, I mean, the Big Ten really has nothing. They don't have anything to look forward to. But these SEC games are dominant, and at first I didn't understand it, but now being in the SEC, watching the SEC play each other, it's so
Hey
much.
Tim, real quick, you sound like you're underwater.
Hmm.
Try again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, try now. You're like not speaking into the mic. Maybe try it again.
Can you hear me?
Try it again.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay. These SEC games are very tough, and they're very, very, very. They have more at risk. So I understand. I think honestly, with the addition of these uh, playoff spots, I expect the SEC to take up more of those spots
Yeah,
going forward.
I
Because
think
this
if the
year,
SEC as
this
the
game is
as the
crazy.
playoff goes to 14 games next year, you'll see a three loss team.
Yeah.
Right. That's just not this year.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think it's this year though. I think if Texas loses today, I don't think they'll make the playoff again unless something crazy happens where we've seen these number two teams. They start to lose out. These top teams start to lose out late. Then
Yeah.
I could see possibly Texas sneaking in. Again, if they have an impressive run like an Oklahoma, a Georgia and an A&M at the end of the year as well, that kind of helps out. If A&M Georgia, if they start to slip, like if they lose today, then I could see a situation where Texas could slip in a back door. But with a three loss, I think it's kind of difficult for anybody based on their conference to get in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Tim. Well, let's get back to the game today. We
Yep.
got about 15 minutes here. We've talked a little bit about what to expect from the offense. Again, I'll keep. I'm trying to keep an eye out on Arch Manning, see if anything has progressed or not.
Mhm.
I haven't seen anything yet. Can you want to talk a little bit about this defense and what you expect from this defense today?
I'm expecting to see a lot of blitzing today. I want to see them put the pressure on Diego Pavia.
Okay.
That guy, when he's on, he's on. But the last couple of games, he has not been great. He's been good, but not great.
Yeah.
I think with this Texas team and the way that they've shown resilience here, again, not for the last week, but literally for the last 3 weeks to a month, they have been outside of that Florida game. They have been phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Getting major stops on third and fourth downs, getting goal line stops, which was a thing. Like that was not a thing, a couple of years ago. For Texas to be resilient in the red zone is phenomenal. Um, I don't necessarily know how many points or how many points does Vanderbilt average, but I do know within their last 2 games they have not been putting up a lot of points. I know they put up 70 against Georgia State, and they put up 55 against Utah State, but Alabama they only scored 14 points. They had an impressive win against LSU. LSU, they are kind of in the same boat as Texas, where they have they have a great defense, but their offense not so much. Um, so I think LSU's defense isn't as good as Texas' defense is. And then you have Missouri, who they put up 17 points against. I would not say that those are formidable opponents outside of Alabama and LSU and Missouri. Those other teams, I don't necessarily consider those great wins. Those are
Yeah.
games that you're supposed to take care of. Being an SEC team, right? You're
Yep.
supposed to beat up on Georgia State. You're supposed to beat up on Utah State. Going up against another top defense here, um, I'm really hoping that Texas puts some pressure on him. Now, again, Cedric Alexander returning nation or Austin's top leader in high school. He broke a 30-year record, 35-year record. He broke that record, and it's been standing ever since. And he's going to return home. So I expect him to be a little bit more pumped. And so it's a homecoming game for Cedric, and he was great at Austin LBJ. Really wish we would have been able to recruit him, but he chose to go to and Vanderbilt is a great institute. But if we can put some pressure on that on the quarterback, I think that goes a long way. Get him on the ground, get him on the ground often, get him off his cue,
Yep.
and then maybe get some turnovers. If we can get some turnovers, maybe a short field, maybe if we can continue to play the way that we've played throughout the weeks, and have that offensive be just you don't need them to put up 45 points, but if they can put up 30, they can put up 28. I think Texas wins comfortably. I don't think they're going to do that today, but I think that if the defense is on, I think it'll be a long day for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. And before I say anything here, as you guys are jumping in all the places, like the show, comment, subscribe, tap the screen on YouTube, or sorry, on TikTok. Follow us, Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. I think here's something that I'll say about last week's game, Tim. This defense played 90 plays, and Mississippi State has a lot of speed on the outside,
Yeah,
right? Which isn't something that it's not something we didn't expect, right? But
right,
with you not having Michael Taft, that was important because you don't have your communicator, right?
right.
Vanderbilt is not that. Vanderbilt is the exact opposite of that. They're very methodical. You're
They're
only going
good.
to play about 60, 70 plays, maybe, right? They're going to try to. They're not going to try to run up and down the field. And Texas is. If you look at that Missouri game, right? Missouri's defense is good. They're not Texas good,
Right.
right? Like Texas is the top 5 defense in the country.
Yeah.
Missouri is probably like top 15. So I think Texas's defense is going to be fine. I think with knowing they won't have Taff again, right? I think they'll be better communicators. Phil Simi got a lot of run last week, which I think
They
was
did.
really valuable for him. I thought
Yeah.
he looked really, really good.
Yeah.
I do think but the one thing you're going to have to do this week is discipline. I'm not really worried about the running backs for Vanderbilt. If you take away the 60-yard or 70-yard run that they had, they only had 30 yards last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about this whole like you're coming home, like you're really excited. Guess what? This Texas team is going to be home for the first time in 43 days as well. So
Yeah.
they're going to be just as excited and just as amped as Vanderbilt is, probably
Right.
even more so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine. I'm not really worried about that at all. I think the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you've got to stay disciplined on defense. You've got to set the edge. You've got to not over pursue, because the one thing Pavia will do is he'll keep the ball,
He will run. Yeah.
right?
He will run.
And so you've got to be really disciplined. You got to stay in your gaps. You got to cover your lanes. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to know where your run fits can't, like Texas has had some issues with run fits this year, where you go into the wrong hole or you're going to the wrong gap. You're second guessing yourself. Like that's the kind of stuff you can't do today.
Right.
This is really about playing disciplined defense,
Mm-hmm.
and thankfully for Texas, it's a very disciplined defense, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the best run defense Vanderbilt has seen all year.
I think so.
And it's the best defense they've seen all year. And Diego Pavia through the air has not been a world beater. He's actually been he's probably just as good as Arch Manning has been in the air.
They're close when it comes to passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions. I think Diego Pavia has 5. I think Arch has 6. With that being said, Diego Pavia is the number 1 rusher for Vanderbilt, having almost 500 yards. So keeping him in check is a big deal. That's why
For
got
sure.
to keep him on the ground. Got to keep him with negative yardage, especially with him being the number 1 rusher. You want to make sure that you can get as many negative plays from him as possible.
Yeah. Where I am concerned, though, is the tight end position. Texas gives up a lot to tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
You saw last week they gave a tight end his first touchdown, his first career touchdown. He's been playing for like 3 years, right?
Right.
Eli Stowers is the one piece that worries me about this Texas defense today. Eli Stowers is a first-round NFL tight end. That dude is unreal.
Yeah, and he's tall. He's a
big, tall guy.
Yeah.
I think that's a mismatch that they're going to try to take advantage of, and it's going to be really important that these linebackers. I think you're going to see a lot of Ty Anthony Smith today because he's much better in coverage and he's got the speed.
Yeah.
Then you'll probably see more of him than you see more of LaFau, just because of the speed that Ty Anthony Smith has in order to keep up with some of the routes that they're going to try to put Stowers on. Right. That's going to be the part of the defense that's worrisome to me, because I think that's where they're going to exploit some stuff in this defense, just because of the size of Eli Stowers.
Right.
He's like 6'7", I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah, 6'4".
That's a tight end from Baylor, who's 6'7".
Yeah.
And
again, also kind of like a semi-coming home game for him, right? Denton, Texas, all that stuff. So, all right, Tim. As we wrap up here, what do you have for predictions today?
I have a really tight game. I don't have a game where Texas is blowing Vanderbilt out the water. So my final prediction, I have Texas beating Vanderbilt. I have Texas beating Vanderbilt 24-20.
Okay.
I think the defense shows up. I think that I don't think we're going to see a lot of explosive plays. As far as I don't think we're going to see a lot of bombs today. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
It's about 65 outside right now, 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, on a Saturday afternoon in Austin. It just decided that it wanted to kind of cool off this week. For this week specifically, and then next week we're back in the 80s. But this week alone, it's been, slowing up on getting kind of hot here. So I'm expecting it to, maybe by halftime be 71, 72 degrees. I think that plays a big factor in it as well. Um, it has rained. It rained this morning, got a pretty good downpour. I don't necessarily know how the fields are going to be, but that could be a main factor as well. So with that being said, with weather being in the picture, Texas being a powerhouse and being consistent on offense, I think Texas winning 24-20 is pretty sits pretty well with me. If it goes any higher, I still think it's a relatively close game, 3-4 points.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. Um, listen, until I can see this offense do well for 4 quarters in a game, it's really hard to believe in them.
Right,
Uh, but I do think this defense is going to play well. I don't think they're going to have to play as much.
right.
I think they're going to stifle this. I think Vanderbilt's offense is going to hit a wall today.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I have Texas winning 17-14.
17-14.
Low scoring game. Low
Okay.
scoring game. I expect the kicker to get 3 or 4 field goals.
Mhm.
Might get a touchdown from Arch or somebody. But if you get anything more than that, hey, to the powers that be,
I'll take
it's great for Texas. But I have it 17-14. Now, what I will say, Tim, if I see more of what I saw in the fourth quarter from this offense today, if I see it,
it could get out of control.
we can have a fun rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because then we'll finally be able to play. Because this is the time, November, December is when Sark talks about you should be at your best.
Mhm.
And Texas get to that point throughout this month as the competition gets more difficult. And if they can, we might be in for a fun last rest of the season. But I don't want to worry about that. I want to worry about today. I want to see what this offense can accomplish. So I've got 17-14. You've got 24-20. We both have Texas winning and surviving another week right before a much needed bye. So, Tim, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, man. I'm going to be interested to see what Clark does and if he continues to give the same looks or if he's going to open up the playbook. Use that home field advantage. Hopefully, they're a packed out crowd. They're loud and they're ready to be there and they're ready to get down and dirty. Again, all they have to do is just continue to run out, no matter how, and they will, be in a college football playoff scenario. So, from that point, like you said, it's a much needed bye. They need everybody to get healthy, maybe get back on track, maybe implement a few plays, a couple of wrinkles. I don't know, but it's a much needed bye. It's been a long October for them. Even with the bye in October, it's still been very long. So hopefully, we have a full and healthy. That's what I'm hoping for.
And Bala FH0 says Texas wins by 5 touchdowns, calling it now. We appreciate the confidence. That would be wild. We would be going crazy if that happens. But let's go ahead and get out of here, Tim. Where can people find you?
They can find me at Tim Wayne on Twitter. You can find me pretty much on all avenues at Tim Wayne. You can also find me at the Longhorn Fan Metal Podcast here. Appreciate everybody commenting on videos and things like that. Listen, I'm looking forward to this game. Hopefully, it doesn't make me sad. Okay, it's kind of dreary out, so I'm hoping for a big win here. So where can I find you at?
All right, you can find me at the Uncle Gandhi on Twitter. Find us both at LH Fan Battle on Twitter, and of course here on TikTok, wherever you guys might find us. We might be back during halftime live on TikTok, so come join us there, breaking down the first half. But until then, my name is Harish. This is my guy Tim Wayne. We out of here. Peace.
Okay.